XDEFIANT has changed forever. There's a ton of different changes with the latest patch notes that have come to the game, and we're going to play and experience that firsthand so you guys can see exactly what's going on. And on top of that as well, they recently had the Ubisoft Forward event, which announced Season 1 for XDEFIANT, which is going to bring in a lot of different things. So we need to cover all of this in one big video. So yeah, if you guys do enjoy this video, make sure to drop a like, subscribe if you want to see some more XDEFIANT stuff, and let's get into it. Very first thing we're going to do is just go into a random game, and I want to show you guys some of the biggest changes to XDEFIANT. We will be checking out the patch notes as well, so you can see specifically some of the things that they were mentioning, but right off the bat, we know that snipers have been kind of annoying in XDEFIANT with the complete lack of flinch, but now there is flinch in XDEFIANT, and I gotta say, granted, at the time of making this video right now, I've only played a couple of games and I've only sniped in a couple of games, but it really weirdly doesn't seem like the flinch is going to affect snipers that much. But do keep in mind that that's coming from the perspective of someone who mostly quickscopes in this game. I'm not someone sitting in the back hard scoping, getting cheap kills behind a mag barrier, so maybe it just doesn't affect me. I'll show you guys right off the bat. One of my favorite things to do right now is play as the cleaners and snipe with the M44, which I recently got the bronze. This is a pretty standard build that I rock as well. We got the muzzle booster for slightly faster fire rate, heavy barrel for more consistent one-shot kills, especially when you're playing cleaners. We got the variable zoom, quick draw for faster ADS, and the stock is actually what can make a massive difference. Right now I'm using the padded stock, which is the first one you unlock, and as you can see, you do get 5% extra ADS flinch control. But there's actually an attachment that will reduce the flinch even more, and it's right here, the reinforced stock. If you put this one on, you get a 25% ADS flinch control bonus, which is pretty huge. For the sake of making this video, I am going to switch to this stock so we can see if it's actually that helpful, but just to keep in mind as well, I am using this quick draw grip, but if I switch to lightweight, it's going to give us a 5% reduction in flinch control. And from what I've seen for the sniper so far, those are the only attachments in the game right now that will affect your flinch. So yeah, just wanted to point that out in case you guys were curious about like what attachments might affect flinch. Now from one of the matches I played earlier, basically you can now get flinched up, down, and sideways. And I was trying to figure out what exactly causes you to flinch in which direction. It does kind of seem like if you get shot in the head, you'll flinch down, which if you're someone who's intentionally trying to flinch snipers, that might be what you're going to want to do the most, because it's going to mess up someone's shot the most. Now it is kind of early to call it, but if you get shot anywhere else, there's a good chance you might get flinched sideways or upwards. So if you're on the receiving end of that, it's not going to affect you nearly as badly versus if you're getting shot in the head. That's kind of the big reason I just wanted to play and show you guys some examples, because, you know, we don't have private matches, so we can't really test it objectively anyway. But I feel like it makes the most amount of sense to just play the game so you can see what a realistic scenario looks like. But overall, it kind of seems like if you're someone who quickscopes, this is not going to affect you nearly as badly as someone that's just sitting in the back hard scoping. Like this guy. See, I mean, like, I got shot there, but how am I gonna flinch? I'm so close. Playing aggressively and quickscoping, it doesn't even matter. Beautiful. Oh my goodness. They fell right for the bait. Beautiful. Now, another major change that Ubisoft made to XDEFIANT is going to be crouch and jump spam. Like, if I'm just teabagging like a freak right now, my aim, as you can see, is going all over the place, and I'm trying to sort of correct for it, but even if I don't, it's just going to be so wonky until I eventually stop and calm down. There you go. Also, wait, there's an upside-down teddy bear here? I've never noticed this. Oh my god. See, I mean, he's jump spamming, but I'm going to show you guys. If I just sit here, I'm just spamming my jump when I go to ADS. Look at that. All over the place. I'm not even correcting for this. This is just what the game will do now if you're spamming jump. So if you're complete trash at the game, absolute dumpster fire of a player who only knows how to spam your jump button or your crouch button, that shit is not gonna work anymore. This type of stuff was just honestly obnoxious, and I'm really glad that they took some measures to, you know, kind of make it a little bit more calm down. But I will say that it's not going to stop people from jump shotting or spamming crouch. Like, you can still do it within reason. It's roughly about 3 jumps or 3 crouch spams, and then after that, that's when everything starts to get weird. Like you could see right there, some people are still going to be freaks of nature. So you could still spam movement, you could jump shot, you could do all that stuff. They didn't really make too many movement penalties. It's just that this one specific scenario of repeatedly spam jumping or repeatedly spam crouching, that specifically has been adjusted. You're going to get a ton of sway if you do it, so yeah. Now, one thing you might have noticed in this match is that there's still a ton of people in this match right now sniping on defense. It's a very common thing on escort, and it gets frustrating, at least before it got really frustrating, because they would take advantage of the fact that they could just sit back, not get flinched off their shots, and just get cheap, easy kills on people who want to play the objective. So that was pretty frustrating, but I'm hoping it's not going to be as bad now. But as you could see in this match, we couldn't even get the second objective. Now, granted, I'm distracted, I'm making a video, but I'm going to do something kind of gross to prove my point. We're going to play as the Phantoms with mag barrier, and I'm going to switch to the TAC 50. We're on defense now, and we have to try to stop them, and as you can see, we have 4 mag barriers. Granted, it looks like no one else on the team is sniping, but it's to still kind of prove a point. Prior to flinch being added to XDEFIANT, it was just way too easy to sit back here, put down a mag barrier and then camp with a sniper and just pick people off. But here's the thing. If I'm sitting back and camping with a sniper, I can still just put this barrier down and people's bullets won't be able to hit me, which means they can't flinch me. So this is a strategy that can, in theory, still work. And it can work pretty good if I can hit my shots. I honestly haven't sniped with attack 50 enough recently. Oh god, and my shield is gone. Oh no, how will I snipe? And this is what I'm saying. I mean, I got stuck with a grenade, but now, I'm not trying to say that the snipers need a harder nerf or that they need to make more drastic changes. I mean, these are kind of like incremental improvements to try to address some of the community's concerns and continue to balance the game. Don't get it twisted. I think that these are good changes for the game, but I don't know if they are necessarily drastic enough to fully address some of the concerns that some people might have. The spider bot, no! I mean, I'm still just sitting behind the barrier. I missed though. Oh, my shield. We have another mag barrier. I mean, we have 4 people on the team doing it. So one thing I will say is that XDEFIANT is balanced pretty well in the sense that you can counter a lot of this stuff anyway. Like, if people are bothering you with this mag barrier, just throw an EMP grenade at it. Switch to an LMG and just spray it to death. There's ways to deal with everything. You just have to, you know, play the game enough to understand how it works. What's really funny is I'm sure there's a lot of casual XDEFIANT players who just get mad at everything and don't understand how any of it works.
Like, oh my god, I'm so tired of the spider bot.
Have you tried looking down at the ground and shooting it yet? You can also shoot it before it approaches you. You can also melee it. So, I mean, like, there's a lot of ways to deal with everything in the game. Holy, I wanted that triple to line up. With this strategy of just sitting behind a mag barrier and sniping, these guys can't even get the first objective. And we have a team of 4 people with mag barriers, so yeah, it's a pretty potent strategy. Usually works pretty well on defense, especially on escort. It works in other game modes as well. They definitely didn't stand that much of a chance, and overall we won, and we were the best in here too, so there you go. All I'm saying is that don't go into this patch, or don't go into this, like, flinch nerf for the snipers thinking that snipers are basically rendered useless now, because they're not. It's like this in Call of Duty as well. Like, even if they try to make snipers worse or nerf them, people will still want to play that way. They're going to improve their skills no matter how bad it is, so. But yeah, man, let's go over the patch notes for XDEFIANT as well. Which, by the way, whoever is writing these patch notes really needs a raise, because I love the tone. You guys will see. We already went through all the aiming penalty stuff for spam jumping and spam crouching, so we can go on to the next one. Players can now push the package in escort mode with confidence that their legs won't detach from their torso and strand them, which was a thing that was happening. Look, dude, I play a ton of escort in this game. I didn't see that happen a single time, but that sounds hilarious. And I just love how they wrote all this stuff out. It's great. But I've got to say, man, I'm really surprised that more people are not talking about this one. You know, a lot of people are talking about the jump spam, crouch spam, and the sniper nerf, like adding flinch to the game. But this is actually the biggest change that they made, and really, I'm not seeing a lot of people talk about it. We have our first netcode change. It says Libertad's medical skills were so potent that they were soaking up bandwidth. That's been fixed. The bandwidth issue, not the healing potency, which remains untouched. When I first saw this and read this in the patch notes, it honestly, like, it's like a switch went off in my head. It makes so much sense. When we're talking about netcode and really what that is, we're also kind of referring to the tick rate of the servers. Now, I'm not exactly sure what the tick rate is for XDEFIANT servers, but if you're not overly familiar with how tick rates in servers work, basically it's the amount of information that is sent from the client, which is you as a player, to the server, and like basically like a back and forth kind of thing. I know that's like a super oversimplified version or explanation of it. That's basically how I understand it though, and I'm a genius. But in essence, at least what I can gather from all of this is that the healing abilities on Libertad were essentially clogging up the servers. So if there were a lot of people in a match playing Libertad and using healing abilities, which again, every time someone is healing different ticks of health, that's all information that's being sent from your console or your computer to the servers and then back to other people's devices as well. So what exactly does that mean? Well, at least from what I can tell, is that if you were playing in a match where a lot of people are playing as a healer, those lobbies probably had really weird connection instability and all kinds of stuff going on, you know, like the desync issues. Now, I can't guarantee that after this netcode change to Libertad that it's going to be better, but when you're playing XDEFIANT now, I want you to very carefully pay attention to what your ping is in the game and how many healers there are on both teams, because it'd be super interesting to see if your connection experience and how consistent your shots are has anything to do with how many people are playing this faction in the game, because before this update, it was probably causing more issues, and I'm curious to see if it's going to be better now. But this is an absolute game changer. This is a big improvement to the netcode, at least if it does change anything drastically, and we need to pay very close attention to this because in the patch notes, this is the only change to the netcode. So it's very interesting to see that the healing faction in the game might have actually, in a sense, been breaking it. So really interesting stuff. But aside from that, there are some other changes to the factions in the game. It says here, added additional fixes so that Echelon players turn invisible only when using the digital ghillie suit rather than for their entire lives. They're supposed to be sneaky, but come on. I love the patch notes, man. And I've seen some other people talk about being invisible for an entire match. I've seen it like on Twitter and in my comments and stuff, but I haven't personally seen this, but I'm glad that they fixed it. But real quick, I do want to point out here where they mentioned the sniper flinch, where it says revamped how snipers flinch when they're tagged by enemy fire, increasing the flinch and keeping it going through multiple hits. This was actually a change that was in one of the previous XDefiant betas, and the reason why it didn't make it to the final version of the game, or really, you know, like the launch of XDefiant, is because it had something to do with the netcode of the game. Hopefully I'm remembering this correctly, but from what I remember, I could have sworn that Mark Rubin said that one version of XDefiant, like one build of it, had the netcode improvements, while the other one had the flinch changes, and it just didn't line up. And now it has fully lined up. We have netcode improvements and we have sniper flinch in the game. But yeah, that's basically it for the first major patch notes for XDefiant. Let's go over the season 1 reveal trailer for the game, and we can kind of go frame by frame and showcase all the new stuff coming to the game. I'm sure at this point you guys have probably seen the trailer already, so we don't need to like watch it. So right off the bat, we have a new faction coming into the game, which is GSK from Rainbow Six Siege, and we're gonna have to take it a little slow at certain points so we can show you guys everything. Now granted, I'm very rusty when it comes to Siege and I don't really remember all the characters, but is this dude's name actually Blitz? This guy said, wow, they really had to bring Blitz into this game, and we already do have the Blitz shield. Okay, so I went to the Rainbow Six Siege website, and yeah, Blitz, he has the Blitz shield. It says his ability is a ballistic shield with 3 rows of 8 flashbangs. So that's gonna be pretty fun in XDefiant. Now, granted, we have no idea how it's actually going to turn out in terms of actual gameplay for XDefiant. This is all just cinematics. They're just showing stuff off. But honestly, that's just too funny. I mean, we now have 2 riot shields in the game. You can see the new sniper right here as well. Now, as we can see in this very pixelated shot, I don't think it's going to get any better. But there's actually a lot of different things going on here. First off, the dude's playing Capture the Flag, which is one of the new game modes coming to the game. I believe they're using a new assault rifle called the LVOA-C. But if we look at the bottom center over here, we can see a brand new Ultra ability, as well as what looks to be a new, like, barbed wire or razor wire ability, which might have 3 charges. I think we can kind of see it over here too. Like, you could sort of see it on the ground. And again, man, it's been a while since I played Siege, but I'm pretty sure the dude with the blitz shield right here is able to, you know, like, twist the shield to the side and shoot a pistol over it, which is pretty sick. But yeah, as you can see here, there's going to be 3 free new weapons coming to XDefiant as well. The very first one I'm looking forward to the most is the L115. And I'm just now realizing that in this shot, this guy was on a 45 kill streak. Yeah, I'm just now realizing how many times they were probably trying to recreate this shot as they were recording it. This dude's on a 45. Hopefully he's getting an actual game-ending nuke or something. But yeah, next up here we have the sawed-off shotgun, which this could have probably just been an attachment for the double barrel, but I mentioned that before as well. Again, I know it's super pixelated, but again, we can see the razor wire on the grounds, which is probably going to get a little annoying. I don't know if the EMPs will be able to counter that, but it looks like we have a different piece of equipment right here, like a different device. Now, I do know that they are adding a trophy system into the game, but I don't know if it's going to be tied to a faction ability or if it's just going to be a device that any faction can use. But to be perfectly honest, I'm not sure if that's what it looks like in the inventory, but maybe as we keep watching, we'll find something. And here is the blitz shield. You can see it flash banging. That's going to be super fun. But yeah, you can see here again, I don't know if that's the trophy system as a device, but we now have the LVOA showing up again. And right here, you can see that there's going to be a new map per month for free, obviously. The first map is called Clubhouse, which I believe is from Siege, and this one has been showing up a lot in the gameplay as well in the trailer. Oh wait, never mind. Okay, I got that wrong. So as we can see here in this shot, one of the abilities is really a trophy system. This thing can attach to a wall or on the ground or a ceiling, and it can block incoming devices. So maybe, just maybe, this is actually C4 or something, because that's what it kind of looks like. Wait a second. I'm still on this page, and I'm trying to see if we could just, like, find just the GSK faction. Okay, so I did some digging, and the specific Siege operators coming to the game are Bandit, Jaeger, and Blitz. Okay, I'm stupid. They're all right here. The only one that didn't make it is IQ. So I'm pulling up Jaeger's page right here just to kind of get refreshed on what he does in the game. Okay, so in Siege at least, Jaeger is the one that has the active defense system, which is basically a trophy system in Call of Duty. But with the way that XDefiant works, I think you can play any 3 of these guys and kind of just switch the abilities around, like the things that you get. That's just how it works in XDefiant, and I don't really anticipate that to change. I'm gonna be perfectly honest though, I have no idea if this bulletproof camera or if the observation blocker are going to make it update into XDefiant. But the active defense system, that is definitely coming to the game. Let's go ahead and take a look at Bandit. I don't even know if I remember Bandit. Okay, so he's the one with barbed wire. So yeah, he's the one that's bringing it into the game. But again, you could probably play as any one of the three and get access to some of these gadgets and stuff. Although I am seeing shock wire and the nitro cell, which I believe was a C4 explosive device. So I mean, again, C4 could be coming to season 1. You never know. I mean, that's looking kind of fishy right there. But at the same time, it's kind of making me think of a defib. Like, it looks like 2 defibs with like a little shock thing. I'm kind of drawing a blank right now, but if you guys have any guesses as to what it is, definitely let me know in the comments. Big explosion over there. I mean, maybe that is a C4. Who knows? Look at that. But next up, we have another brand new map here called Daytona, which is looking pretty vibrant, pretty nice. Pretty sure this takes place in Florida. And as you can see, we have the active defense system right there. So that thing is going to block incoming gadgets. Now, one thing I want to point out, and I'm kind of going back here for a bit, is because if you look at the game modes being played on different maps, you can kind of get an idea of what game modes will be available depending on which one you're on. Because as they show Daytona here, you can see that they're playing zone control, which means that this could be one of the bigger maps, and it might even allow for you to play escort on this map. But I don't know if you'll be able to play like domination and hardpoint. It could be one of the larger maps in the game. And if we back it up, we have another brand new map here called Rockefeller. To be perfectly honest, I'm not exactly sure what game this map is from, but a pretty neat attention to detail is that they have the score of the teams up here. I don't know if that's really gonna track in real time or not, and it could be a smaller map as well because you can see the score. I mean, in this shot, this dude is using the blitz shield ult, and you can clearly use a pistol while you have the shield out. And yes, you can see the scores right here, but I don't think it's changing in real time because the score in game is 27-1, which again, this dude's probably on a 27 kill streak. I thought I caught something else too. Wait, what? So yeah, it looks like this might be the 3 charges of razor wire as well as either the defib or C4, whatever that might be. But one thing I do want to point out, which is really interesting, is that in the bottom right, you can see it says the 93 Raffica, which we do already have as a pistol in the game, but this is clearly part of the ult. It looks like you'll be able to use a much higher capacity version of the 93 Raffica versus the typical one that we already have in XDefiant. So pretty interesting stuff right there as well. But yeah, again, this is just stream res quality, but you can see the razor wire on the ground. That's definitely going to be part of the game. It could be pretty annoying. It's area of denial stuff, but we'll have to see how you can counter it in the game. Okay, so that just confirms capture the flag. We already know that. This flashes by super fast, but it's ranked rewards for getting to top 500 and stuff like that. I'm assuming what this dude has on is possibly a skin that you get depending on what rank you hit in XDefiant. I haven't played the ranked beta quite yet, but you know, now that there's actually rewards and stuff, it could be pretty fun, pretty interesting to play. Although to be perfectly honest, I'm enjoying the no skill-based matchmaking, so I don't know if I want to go the ranked route, but we'll see. Still grinding for camos and stuff, which by the way, right here, brand new mastery camo. It says at the bottom right as well, new weapon mastery skins. I gotta go back to that other video I made because I honestly already forgot the leaked names of the mastery camos, but that information was out there. We at least have the names of 3 mastery camos coming to XDefiant. We have pristine, platinum, and aura camo. Now I'm gonna mute this just because I'm gonna try to replay it as much as I can, but I'm not exactly sure what kind of camo this could be. Which by the way, after this scene plays, this is not another mastery camo. It says new store items and bundles, so this is just one of the bundles or like one of the things coming to the game. This is not one of the mastery skins, so don't get that confused. My best guess though for this camo that's being shown is maybe it's platinum because it is very reflective. Like, that's why it's so confusing to try to figure out what this could be. And even silver camo in XDefiant does this as well, but it's very reflective of the surfaces around, and that can drastically change the colors that actually show up on the gun. Even though there's some other things I want to go over in the trailer, I'm going to go to the practice zone right now and show you guys a gun with silver camo. Now, honestly, it'd be really funny if they were just trolling and this is silver, but I mean, as we stand here, if we reload and stuff, it's actually not as reflective. So maybe that camo that they're showing off is platinum camo. Now, as far as it goes for what you'd have to do to earn the camo, I honestly have no idea. I don't know if they're going to add an additional set of challenges to the game or if you have to unlock gold camo for every gun. I'm pretty sure this is a brand new weapon mastery skin, but we just don't know exactly what it is quite yet. Also, dude, I mean, we're starting to get some of the crazier skins. This is looking like a Fortnite skin right here. We see you, XDefiant. We see you. But you know what? It's okay if they have skins like this because it's not that serious or that realistic of a game anyway, so they can get wacky with it. Just keep the skill-based matchmaking out, and I think we're gonna be fine. It really has made for just such an amazing gameplay experience, and they can put some weird skins, and I don't think it's really gonna matter that much. Yep, I mean, there you go. That's the end of the trailer. Nothing else to see, really. All you really need to know is that Season 1 is gonna be dropping on July 2nd. It's gonna be free to play, just like everything else in the game. Absolutely sick, and I can't wait for this as well. Like, there's so much amazing stuff coming to XDefiant. Wait a second, and there's gonna be the X debrief. Okay, so they're gonna be doing a full reveal of Season 1 on July 1st on a YouTube live stream, so that's gonna be pretty sick. And I gotta say, man, I am absolutely X-delighted with this news. But that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me cover the patch notes and some of the major changes to XDefiant as well as Season 1 for the game. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to drop a like, subscribe if you want to see some more XDefiant stuff. I'll see you guys later.
Outcome, Triangle.